Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here, and welcome to my holiday buyer's guide for 2018. As you can see, I have some visual aids out here for certain stuff just to make it look, you know, visual 80. But for whatever I talk about that I don't have something for, I'll just, you know, put a picture up on screen. But I wanted to put some of the stuff out here so it's not just a blank thing, although it'll just kind of keep me like hidden behind here. Let's play Where's Dawson, but not really. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'll kind of go by category. So Power Rangers is the first one. I actually wasn't sure I was going to have a lot for this just because Super Ninja Steel has been kind of a drag in general, but also it's been fading out as we're in transition. But there's actually a handful of things I did feel like recommending. Number one is the Power Rangers visual history. I did a brief review on it. Again, I'm going to do a more in-depth one later once I get a chance to read more of it. But it's a super, super cool book. It's one of those, you know, giant books, nerd books, just full of information and pictures. They've been doing these for other franchises for years, but PR finally has one. Just packed full of all kinds of really cool, like, in-show stuff and out-of-show stuff and neat shots of, you know, the Rangers and stuff like that. And it comes with a poster that'll rip the book in the back. But still, super, super cool. There's also some other Ranger-related books that I have here on the side. There's actually quite a few cool book-related things this year for that. Like, the Alien Encounters in Angel Grove I thought was pretty neat. Like, it has basically breaks it down season by season based on like the villains, which is super neat. I don't think it's quite as cool as the visual history, but still pretty cool. You also have the artist tribute. You got a bunch of different, you know, Power Rangers related art like that and stuff. It's super neat if you're into that. Not everyone is super into that type of stuff, but I really think it's super cool. All kinds of different like art and stuff you can take a look at. So all kinds of cool Power Rangers books this year. Speaking of Power Rangers books, there's also always the comic. Here I have just like one of the variants for Shattered Grids. I can definitely recommend picking up and reading Shattered Grid stuff. They don't have any of the full-on compilations for Shattered Grid yet, so you'll have to go either individual issue or, you know, digitally or whatever. But I definitely recommend checking that out. They do have some compilation books for like the other stuff, like the earlier arcs, and like the year one, which is kind of hard to get a hold of. And then like here's MMPR. Thanks, spoiler alert. But like, you know, this is MMPR Pink, but they have little books like this for like the earlier volume compilations, you know, and it has like artwork and stuff in there, so that's a cool way to get it. That's usually the way I do comics, is I usually wait for like the compilations and stuff like that. But so yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that to do. I just said stuff like that a bazillion times and I apologize about stuff like that. But yeah, definitely recommend checking out some of the comics. There's various forms of getting it. I believe this video is coming out on Thanksgiving, and there's going to be the year 2 giant book of, you know, the year 2 of the comics, and I think it has an exclusive story in it. And even though that's coming out before Thanksgiving, it's not in this video because I haven't gotten it yet, because I'm filming this a bit early, about a week early, just to make sure I could have time to film it with, you know, Thanksgiving stuff. And the review might even be out for it in the future, I don't know. But I definitely recommend checking that out if you are into, you know, getting the comic compilations and stuff like that. Also on the Power Rangers recommendation list is the Gold Power Staff here. Boom, secret stash over here. I think this is still a super cool release. There's lots of legacy stuff that people debate on, like, oh, should I wait for the band or the Hasbro version, excuse me. But I think this, even though there's a very good chance we could get a Hasbro related one, I feel like this is cool enough that I can still recommend getting it, and who knows how long it would be before a Hasbro one. So yeah, I think that's super cool if you are even remotely a fan of that weapon or Gold Zeo. I think that's super neat. There's also some cool pop vinyls that came out this year. I'm not usually too big on pop vinyls unless they're super neat, but I thought Pumpkin Wrapper, they also did Pudgy Pig? I feel like that's not right, but whatever. Yeah, I thought those were 2 super neat monster releases. Also here is the giant Ultrazord pop vinyl. It's kind of hard to find, but I think it's a super cool release, so if you can, is Pudgy Pig? I think it's Pudgy Pig. I'm still on that, but I think if you can find this, I think that this Ultrazord vinyl is a super cool pickup. Also, I don't have it here, but there was that evil Red Ranger figure from the Ninja Steel line. It's not the absolute best thing, but I think it's kind of a neat release. And while it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility of Hasbro doing something with that, I think that it'll be far off before you got anything from Dimensions in Danger like that. So if you want to, are you interested in that, I'd recommend maybe picking it up, you know, just because who knows when we would get something like that. Okay, as for Sentai, this category is a little bit smaller this year. There wasn't as much I felt like just being like, oh my god, you have to get it. But I thought little Lupa Magnum here was neat enough, even though I was a little disappointed by it. I think it could have been a little bit more. I think it's still an adorable little robot, and I like the Magnum mode. And, you know, you can have it work with the other mecha as well as the VS changer. So I think it's still a cool little bit. It was one of the neater things that happened. It'll be interesting to see when I get my best of the year one, because I feel like Sentai just wasn't super exciting this year. But also they just recently came out with a bundle set that comes with another Jackpot Striker and like magic, and not like actual magic, but like, you know, the magic, what's the block vehicle? Dial Fighter and the Siren Striker. It's basically like a set that entails the two most recent Megazords or Mecha final combos. I think that's a cool set to get if either you didn't pick any of those up yet, and you want an extra good striker, or, you know, you haven't picked up a good striker. It's just kind of a neat set. If I didn't already have most of those, I would honestly consider getting it myself just to have an extra good striker for extra display stuff. As for Kamen Rider now, I'm a Kamen Rider now, Defender of Antara. No, I'm not, really. Obviously, right here we have Tied My Jeans, Time Machine, watch RR the Streets. He is not recommended. No, I'm just kidding. He's pretty cool. Like, again, if you watch my review, I wasn't, like, blown away by him, but I think he's a pretty neat little release, and it's kind of something you don't get terribly often in Rider, which is a specific mecha, so I think that's kind of neat. I think if you're into it, or, you know, somebody that's, like, you know, into Tied My Jeans, that's kind of a cool one. Spoiler alert from earlier, obviously, the Jiku Driver came out this year along with Ride Watches. Where's Tied My Jeans? Wait for it. Tied My Jeans, they go together. Yeah, we got it. But so yeah, I didn't pull the Jiku Driver in because I didn't feel like taking the upwards of 5 seconds to pull it off my review bucket. But that's a really cool toy, the Jiku Driver and the Ride Watches. If you know, they're actually pretty easy to get your hands on now, like the Jiku Driver and the older Ride Watches. The newer activation ones are still a bit spotty, but if you're a Rider fan, or you know a Rider fan, I think it's a pretty cool belt. Definitely recommend checking that out. Also, check out my fashion. I wanted to give a special shout out to my buddy Corey on his Go Mango on TeePublic. They have shirts that are like translation of Gentoku shirts from Build. This is the approachable one. I also got the So Bold one. They basically have all the phrases he used except translated, you know, into English, which is super, super cool. I really liked that a lot. Because that was one of my favorite parts of Gentoku's character in Build. And then he did like a reverse translation on the Yes No one, so it's in Japanese because Yes No was in English in the show. But yeah, that's the Rider-based ones. As far as non-Rider related, or non-Toku related, excuse me, toys, I think this was a recommendation for last year, I believe, but the Ben 10, like, basic figures, I think still stand as a good recommendation. There's been some spotty ones, but I still think that they do a really good job with those. Same goes for the Playmates Rise of the TMNT toys. You know, I had some nitpicks about the facial expressions, but they're still very well done figures. So I think if you're into that, or you have a friend or a kid or whatever that's into it, those are nice figures. You know, I can definitely recommend checking those out. Big Hero 6, the Flame Burst Baymax and the Armor Up ones, I think are neat ones that kids will enjoy, but I have to still give it to my favorite of that line in terms of recommendations, which is the Squish to Fit Baymax. I just had the most fun reviewing that, and just having it. It's just kind of a neat toy. So those are kind of my little off Toku brand recommendations. Getting into movies, I have some really basic recommendations. You know, I got in my Infinity War DVD over here, Blu-ray, which hasn't even opened yet because I haven't watched it yet. I recommend this, but I haven't rewatched it yet. I'm really bad at that, like just been busy with other stuff. But yeah, this was an awesome, awesome movie. Also Black Panther, I have my copy here somewhere, I couldn't find it. That was super cool, but also it's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you could just watch it if you don't feel like buying it right now. But being Black Friday coming around the corner, you could probably get a good deal on it. But those were super, super awesome movies. Also, kind of a random recommendation, I don't have it yet because I just saw it on TV and I'm gonna try to pick it up on Black Friday, but Game Night was a comedy movie. It's got like Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, and that was a super, super funny movie. It's probably one of the funniest movies I've seen in a while, and I wanted to give a special shout out to that. Also had a lot of fun watching Happy Death Day when I saw it on TV, so that's kind of a cool movie if you're into kind of like horror-ish, more like thriller comedy. Anyway, those are just sort of some movie recommendations. Also, I don't have anything in hand for it yet, because again, I'm waiting for Black Friday myself to get a deal on it. But Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, absolutely the most fun superhero show on TV. Hashtag praise Bebo. Looking forward to Bebo Day. Video games, as you can see here, I have my Spider-Man PS4 box. This is the collector's edition. I'm not sure how plausible it is to get your hands on the collector's edition anymore, but if you're a Spider-Man fan, I can definitely recommend it. Comes in this cool box, has that really cool statue that I took a look at in my little unboxing video. But setting that stuff aside, if you can't get the collector's edition, the game itself is amazing. Probably my favorite game of the year. Spoiler alert for when I do my best of the year, unless something else comes up within the next few weeks. But that's just, I can't say enough good things about that game. If you're like even remotely a Spider-Man fan, definitely recommend checking that out. Another super cool game, God of War. I didn't have quite as much fun with this, but it's a beautiful game, good story, still is a lot of fun, shows a lot of fun. It's not as fun as Spider-Man, but still worth recommending. Also, as you can see here, I have Let's Go Eevee. You know, I know a lot of people don't like that game, or like just its existence, but I think it's just kind of a fun, in-between stage, sort of, a little tryout. I think it's really smart the way it integrates Go, just marketing-wise. But I think it's just kind of a fun little Pokemon fix while we wait for Gen 8. So I can definitely recommend checking that out. I think it's super cool and all that jazz. But anyway, that is about it for my holiday recommendations for this year. This is, you know, recommendations for you, gift for yourself, for, you know, your fellow Toku fan or nerd or kids or whatever. Just, you know, go out there and find some good deals on Black Friday. Like I said, this is coming out on Thanksgiving, and I apologize that it's kind of off kilter because I recorded this earlier than like when that compendium came out, but I wanted to make sure I had time to get all this together before family Thanksgiving stuff happened. And also look forward to, I'll be doing a similar-ish video for my best of the year stuff. Might have some props, who knows. But anyway, thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to get the notifications from my videos. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.